All right. I swear, I feel like we were playing with Mercury retrograde with tech problems. Here we go. Or that's just me, the psychic. It's just me and machine. So let's talk about Gemini and what's going on for you this week, the week of August 25th. And see where we're landing with you, dear Gemini. Let me give these one good shuffle. Incredible full moon weekend. I've got a meditation coming up this evening. I'm excited to see who wants to come play tonight and do a little sound bath with me. My unique little perspective. All right, let's take a look and see what your energy is looking like. We're going to do a quick general spread for Gemini and then move into the moon reading right after that. So here we go. The first card that comes out is the Magician. The thing that I love about the Magician is it tells us of expertise and go time, where it's like you kind of already know that you have abilities and skill sets, etc. And what you have going is this like starting gate kind of energy. And the Magician tells us that you're fully capable, that you have everything that you need, and to expect success. However, the next card that comes behind that is the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups feels a little bit like, hi Heather, hello. So we have this card here, which is the, like I said, the Five of Cups is our card for distrust. I always call this the vetting information card. I used to use the analogy, and if anyone can come up with a better one for me, but I have this picture in my head of what it used to be like with the Loch Ness Monster back in the day, where they'd show these newspaper clippings, and it would be these little foggy, grainy, pixelated photos. And I swear to God, it's the Loch Ness Monster. And people like, they believed it, right? But there's those of us that are like, I just need a little more proof, right? So with this card, it tells us that you are looking to vet the details of the next pieces and parts and moving energy that's going on around you. Oh, and you even have the Ace of Wands, which is the minor. So I'll tell you about that in a second. So we have the Six of Swords, right? So in the beginning, right before this card, just prior to it, the Six of Swords has this energy of feeling tension or a deadline. Like there's a lot of things that you have to do by 5 o'clock Friday. It's like 3 o'clock and being told, not only do you have to have something notarized, but you have to have it mailed or in my hands or whatever. It's like that short-term kind of thing where you're feeling as if the pressure of deadlines is coming up. Now, in no way does this tell us that things are going to go shitty. It just means that all these deadlines are past, or they're going to be easier than you expect, because the Six of Swords has got the blades pointing outward. We also have the King of Cups talks to us about having EQ, right? An emotional ability to move with the energy of emotion. I was just posting yesterday. I kind of hid the post because I was crying in my car over some like spiritual moment that I had. But emotion, E, energy, motion, motion. How we move through emotion and how we process that information. And EQ is the word I use for that. It's your emotional IQ. And you also have the Ace of Swords, which means new beginnings and decisions are popping around you right now. So you've got to be decisive with what's going on. You have the Tower card, which tells me you're moving through a lot of events that have already occurred that have caused you to shake your foundation, so to speak. Now, the Tower card is one of my favorite cards. It comes along every Mercury retrograde, which we have in roughly a month now. So in about 2 weeks, you're going to start feeling some of this shift, right? And this energy build. I'll be letting you know a little bit more about what's coming up with us, with what that Mercury is going to actually look like, so we can actually plan for it instead of it just kick us right in the balls as we begin and somebody starts to mention, oh, Mercury retrograde, and you're like, shit. So this way we have an opportunity to plan for it. We'll be talking about that in a little bit too. So we have the Hierophant. So it tells us that there is a little bit of arrogance and stubbornness going on by you that you're trying to surrender to. We have the Tower card. I always call that the great foundation, right? It's the great neutralizer, or it exposes where the rubber meets the road and where your foundations really are. It's the leveler. It's the thing that comes in and shows us what's underneath, the Tower card, right? So you might have been moving through some events. I see that you've been pretty busy, Gemini, where your time is just kind of eaten away with little activities, so you feel exhausted a little bit at the end of the day. What kind of peace are you giving yourself? The Ten of Coins tells me the decision making needs to be had, right? So you've got the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. So regardless of like what decision you make, you're still like tossing these things back around inside your head. This is all you, Gemini. You know what that feels like, right? To have these two voices speaking. Can't be worse than Libra, right? So everybody has a little bit of that give and take in our brain. It's sometimes this two of wands has us feeling as if we're between two different individuals, right? Like between the parent and the child, like you're the mom and you got to hear the mom, like the dad, and you got to hear the mom and son go at it, or daughter, where you're in the middle trying to be the voice of reason, right? And so the two of wands can sometimes feel us like we have just two different ideas going through our head at the same time, and it's not the two of swords where it's indecision, because you're still pulling in data. You're still pulling in information and trying to give yourself some clarity on what's going on with you. So what we have is the Hierophant. So the Hierophant sometimes talks to us about arrogance, pride, and having this thought in our head where, you know, I already know, but then the information keeps changing and then you're back to changing your mind. So what I have here is the Five of Coins. So there's a puzzle that you need to find your way through, or a maze. So these next, I feel like even more than this week. Let me look. Yeah, so unfortunately we have the Hangman, okay? So the Hangman, like I always say, because some people are very new to this, the Hangman is not somebody being hung by a noose, okay? Neither is the Death card bad, but the Hangman feels as if you're stuck. It's that stuck energy between places. I always like to refer to when we were kids watching cartoons like Robin Hood, somebody would always snap up into the little net or the basket, and you're kind of swinging along in the air until somebody comes along and cuts you loose. That's the Hangman. So until certain things fall into alignment, you can't make any of these decisions. You can't move forward. No matter how much data you get, it's constantly changing. So it's causing you to be a little bit emotional. You're being very protective of your money. I do see the King of Coins, so you're setting yourself up for a lot of positivity and making some decisions for yourself. That's at the height of your career kind of thing. My Moxie knows who that one is, and the Emperor, business ownership, leadership, having to step into being outside of yourself and being a leader to others as well. So you're also concerned a little bit about your reputation and your standing. And I don't mean like what people think of you, but you want to honor your own integrity here and make sure that that's protected above all else. All right, let's pull some cards for you, and we will look at the Mystic Dreamer and see what's going on for you. Emotional. So this is your Gemini moon. Let's see what you're feeling and thinking. I'll shuffle a little bit here for you. While we talk about some of the things that are coming up, I had some questions about my Tarot 101 class. I do have a body positivity workshop that's coming up. I'm looking for my location. Check that out on my Facebook and Instagram. Let me know if you want your one-on-one. Book your session, karmaondeck.com. Let's take a look and see what your moon reading looks like. Knight of Pentacles, starting over. Queen of Cups, emotions. Queen of Swords, having to be decisive. Ace of Cups, emotion again. And the Nine of Cups, overwhelm. So the Knight of Pentacles, regardless if you have the best resume on the planet, if you're a CEO of a company and you switch to another company, you're still the new guy, you're still starting over, and there's nothing we can do about taking that away. Like when you go in somewhere and you have orientation, I don't care how much expertise you have, it's all new. So you have this whole new way of playing with money, playing with your life, playing with your decisions. This is beautiful, right? We have the Queen of Cups right here. So let me show you this one for those on Instagram. You got to come to my YouTube so you can see the picture-in-picture, guys. Karma on Deck, Psychic. So we have the Knight of Pentacles, starting over, Queen of Cups, and the Queen of Swords. Now, these are dichotomy in a nutshell, right? So the Queen of Cups is about emotions, and the Queen of Swords I call my bitch card, because we all know when we have to play that card and when we have to speak in a certain way that shows our boundaries and what our intention is, and to make sure that it's clear. So the clearer we speak, sometimes we get a little bit of backlash, right? Because suddenly you have somebody who bucks against what it is you have to say, and we have to draw that line. So this is our Queen of Swords, which is decisive and emotional. So we've got a handful right now there, and I would have to say that's pretty much Gemini in a nutshell. We have Ace of Cups, new beginnings, and Nine of Cups, which is overwhelmed. Oh my God, look how overwhelmed you are, Gemini. These are two different cards saying things in a different way. Like this Nine of Cups is like so much going on that you can't enjoy it. And then the Seven of Cups is too many options. If you look inside each of one of these cups is a imagery and, you know, representation of all the different things that you've got to handle and take care of. You've got the Two of Cups, which it's my favorite card for relationships. So if everything else is going to shit, your relationship's doing fine. So we have the Two of Cups telling me that true love and honor and balance, even if not in your love and lovers relationship, this is telling me that you have support to lean on. You have people that are there to love you and support you during this that you're taking notice of. We also see the World card, so there might be a move. I can also tell you that Gemini is very much about keeping things close to the chest and not sharing information or not sharing things that are going on until they have an information, they have a disclosure to even say. So until you have all the information, you're not going to disclose a lot of things that are going on with you. I see the Justice card. So if some of you are being involved in legal matters, that could be anything from a mediation to a business purchase, or even a, contracts like moving, getting into a lease, making arrangements for new employment, even financial investments. The Justice card has to do with the legal portion and the paperwork, right? Your mediation, if you're in a divorce, might even be a divorce, but not in this case, right? So we have the Six of Pentacles. I see support. I just see that you're so worried right now about people not telling you the truth. Gemini, you have the Three of Wands and the Devil card, which tells me you are absolutely looking for problems so that you can avoid them. And then you have the Ace of Swords, which tells us that you want to make decisions only after you've discovered whether these people can be trusted, or whether the situation can be trusted, or whether the vetting that you want to do occurs. However, I got to tell you, this is kind of beautiful. Otherwise, it's looking good. It's overwhelmed. It's a lot to handle, and it is going to pan out the way you want it to. The moving parts are constantly going to change. You're going to have to learn to surrender with this one. The Moon card tells me it's very necessary for you to get these things done. However, you're afraid. You're worried. It's a necessary journey you have to take. It's like being pregnant and having to give birth. You're not excited about it, but it's necessary, and it's going to happen whether you like it or not. I'm really grateful I found that analogy finally. I was using the Coming to America one, getting on a boat. But yeah, like when you're pregnant and here it comes, I'm not super excited about it, but yet it'll all be beautiful at the end, right? So don't be afraid of what's happening next. Don't let your fear rule you. You didn't like that one. It wouldn't come out. Fear is, try to make a list of all the positive things and the pros. If you're already on a situation, my words won't come out, and that's why I don't do more than 2 videos at once, guys. So if you focus on the positivity, the reticular activating system inside your brain allows you to see more like items in your brain. It'll bring up a file after file of similar items. So when you come from gratitude, if it's a course of action that you're already on, you can't control it and it's going to change constantly. Let's not bitch about it. Let's talk about the exciting portions. I get to go to this event, or I get to move into a new place, or I get to, my car wrecked, so I get to buy a new car, right? So look at the positive sides of things if at all possible and come from gratitude. It might reframe some of these things for you. Let's pull a card for you from Divination of the Ancients. I finally got those 3 card names in order without messing them up one time today. So let's flip your card and look at your Divination of the Ancients, what your oracle card is. Wishbone, affirmation. Okay, so this is beautiful. If you've already got things moving, reframe what it is you're moving into and describe how you want those intentions to play out for you and what you want them to look like. Make some affirmations. I've been doing tapping lately. I love and accept myself. I am a magnet for money. I am a good steward for money. So what are your affirmations? What do they look like? How is it that you play with your affirmations? I'd love to hear it. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I'll catch you on the flip side. Let me see here what we have next. I think we're going to go to... Some of these I did out of order, so I just want to make sure that I'm announcing the right sign. We will be doing... Hold please. I should do the freeze thing my son does. And you think everything's frozen? All right, now it's up. So Cancer. We'll be doing Cancer right after this. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will catch you